Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, you can't make shit up. I was right again. Why? Because I know how these guys function, my friends. I know the dynamics. So, obviously, those tankers, remember, there were seized, two of them, on the coast of Yemen, of that Israeli billionaire, remember? All right, so there were three incidents. Two tankers were abducted, seized, and one was attacked supposedly with a drone in the Indian Ocean. Now, one of those was already released. Someone saved the vessel. So is no more in the pirates' hands. Some countries' militaries acted just like this, and guess what? The vessel was released, the tanker. I have three articles, two weasel articles coming from the West, and one from the Arabiya, from something that is not so free, but tells us the truth more than these guys. Why? Because these guys are going to give us the information in such a weasel way that you kind of don't understand what happened. Well, why? Because they don't want to wake up their population, their frozen zombie population, who's like, they don't want to wake them up, telling them, yes, we used your military for an Israeli billionaire whose tanker was seized. Your military, US military, for a company that's not even registered or owned in America, in the United States of America. I told you, NATO and our US military is used as a hitman around the world to promote their interest, and there are not the politicians' interest, the guys in charge of the politicians. So let me show you how these weasels are covering this. One is from Associated Press and the other one is from Fox News. And then we have Al Mayadin or Al Arabiya telling us, I don't think it's Al Mayadin, it's Al Arabiya. They're going to tell us a little bit more plainly what happened. You can't make shit up. Whenever I cover this garbage with these shipments and oil tankers or whatever, tankers being, or ships being captured by these bad people, I said the Americans are working on the plans to attack these guys and probably have military bases in Yemen as we speak. They already intervened. I'm going to discuss the consequences. So the first article, Associated Press. Today, November 26, 2023, Sunday. Attackers release Israel-linked tanker seized off Yemen in third such assault in Israel-Hamas war. This was the first article that I hit my head on. I was like, what do you mean the attackers released it? What made them release it? I mean, with my I said, probably they got threatened by the Americans and said, if you don't release these guys in 3 seconds and tra-la-la, we're going to queue up. I think that's how it worked. Well, it was not even like that. They didn't even ask them to reduce it. They went on them. But this article does not say that. I'm going to read part of it because you can go and read it on your own. It's such a weasel. Let me start. Attackers seized and later let go. They just let go a tanker linked to Israel off the coast of Yemen on Sunday. Authorities said Yemen's international recognized government blamed the Iranian-backed Houthi rebels for the attack, which followed at least two other recent maritime attacks linked to the Israel-Hamas war. The attackers seized it, and then it says the Liberian-flagged Central Park, managed by Zodiac Maritime in the Gulf of Aden, the company, the US and British militaries, and private intelligence firm Ambri said. So the US and the British military said. And I was like, why did they say that? The military. Oh, because they did something, they acted with our taxpayer money for what? For a, what? What's that at the beginning? Tanker linked to Israel off the Okay. It doesn't say here who, we work like the tank, the coalition forces. We would like to thank, I'm quoting, the coalition forces who responded quickly, protecting assets in the area and upholding international maritime law. The company said, what? And I said, what do you mean coalition forces responded quickly? They didn't give me any information. Like, I was finding for the truth. But they are just going around. They don't want to wake up the zombies. The company said. So the company knew exactly what happened. We, on the other hand, not supposed to yet. It offered no details on how the attackers left the vessel. So the attackers just left the vessel, nor identified them. It says that the vessel is currently safe without elaborating on what happened to the attackers. American forces aboard the Arleigh Burke-class destroyer USS Mason responded to the distress call from the Central Park. Two U.S. defense officials responded. What does that mean? Went over there, destroyed it, blew it up, sent commando forces, landed on the ship. What did they do? They don't tell us. It's all all right. Distress calls, defense officials said, on conditions of anonymity because they were not authorized to discuss the incident. Zodiac described the vessel as being owned by Klumvez Shipping Incorporated through other records directly linked Zodiac as the owner. London-based Zodiac Maritime is part of Israeli billionaire Eyal Ofer Zodiac Group. British corporate records listed two men with the last name Ofer as a current and former director of Klumvez Shipping, including Daniel Guy or Gui Ofer, who is also director of Zodiac. All right, we got that? It doesn't say here. It talks about the attack of the ship, not the Americans. And it's baby boo, baby bee, gaga, where it happened, and system trackers, and nothing else. And then they go back to earlier this month, they seized vehicle transport. We don't give a fuck. Let's move on to the second liars. Fox News. U.S. responds to distress call after Israeli-owned tanker seized off Yemen. I said, U.S. Navy. So that responded. They went over there and screwed these guys. The suspected piracy attack comes amid other maritime attack. Okay, we don't care. Tell me about it. And again, it says, a U.S. Navy vessel responded to a distress call Sunday from an Israeli-linked tanker off the coast of Yemen on Sunday. I thought that it was already seized by the pirates, by the Yemeni Houthis. No. U.S. Navy personnel, now here, from USS Mason, a Mayport-based Arleigh Burke-class destroyer assigned to the Eastern Mediterranean, responded to a distress call from the Liberian flag carrying a cargo. Responded like what? Yes. Hello. Hello. Okay, you responded. Do you respond like you acted, or you just responded, "We're coming over"? Or no, screw you. From the Mediterranean Sea, they went down the Red Sea. They went down so fast. And again, they tell us who owns it, where it was located. It says sources said Fox, the 5 armed gunmen seized the tanker after boarding from a skiff by pulling up alongside the tanker. The crew locked themselves in the citadel, the top, whatever. The gunmen tried to beat down the door to the safe room before exiting the ship and making their way back to the shore of Yemen. So that means what? They didn't take control of that? They just went over there, they attacked and left? U.S. Navy personnel pursued the subject, firing warning shots as a U.S. helicopter gunship flew overhead. A Japanese destroyer assisted the USS Mason with the interdiction. The subjects were arrested and are now being questioned by the U.S. military under counter-piracy authorities. Now we know what's going on here, right? Everything is good. The coalition, they thank for the partners, blah, blah, blah. And we go to the last article, Al Arabiya News. U.S. Navy rescues commercial tanker seized off the coast of Aden, Yemen. This is not it, because this is the video with the landing with the helicopter. I covered that in another video that YouTube did not like it and flagged it. So just so you know, this is how we have to put up with these guys. And then it says there's no indication. The Maritime's hours U.S. and coalition forces responded to the emergency aboard a tanker, and the crew of the M/V Central Park is currently safe. It was not immediately clear if the crew remained aboard. Communications from a U.S. coalition warship had been intercepted. Warning of the Central had been intercepted. Something wrong. Warning the Central Park to disregard the message. The boarding took place offshore. The last incident, Israel vowed to crush the Hamas. The government, we got a number 1,200 that we have to put in our skulls from now to eternity, like other millions, and that's it. So now we know they intervened for the good maritime shipments and maritime whatever. Can't find a word. You understand? So my friends, I'm glad they intervened. I'm so happy they intervened. You see, when they want, they could be very efficient. With some pirates, 4 pirates, 5 pirates, send Rambo, and he's going to take care of them. So that's why it was, my friends. We intervened, and we make sure that the traffic, the global traffic over there is fantastic. Okay. All right. I'm glad. I mean, I'm happy. I watched a lot of movies, videos with the Yemenis, with the pirates, Somalis, pilots, and others trying to attack, and these guys shooting from the vessels, and the guys go back to where they came from. If you know what I mean. So good. That was fast. I'm glad we make sure that our product is safe. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. Very curious, very strange how fast these guys reacted. But I know they've been doing this for some time already. See you next time.